You already know what time it is. It's that official time. Where we take this worldwide. Let's go. Listen. So now it's time to turn it up. Surf the radio waves as we begin to burn it up. We all up in your area like landscape, definitely bringing you the Powerslams Pancakes. It's a mandate that you tune in. It's time to move out so we can move in and recognize that this is no illusion. I'm here to clear the air so that there is no confusion. It all started off in the book of Genesis when Jacob was wrestling with who he thought was his nemesis. And when the man saw he couldn't overpower him, he touched his hip but he really couldn't devour him. And from that point, then we hear a name change, rearrange the game, so now we gotta change lanes. So I'm here to let you know it's time to listen to the Pancake and Powerslams Show. Let's go! Turn it up, it's the Pancake and Powerslams. Turn it up, it's the Pancake and Powerslams. Turn it up, it's the Pancake and Powerslams Show. Turn it up, it's the Pancake and Powerslams. Turn it up, it's the Pancake and Powerslams. Turn it up, it's the Pancake and Powerslams Show. Turn it up.
Episode 491, ladies and gentlemen. This is Dr. Chris Featherstone. This is the Pancakes and Powerslams Show. We are live and living, color getting funky like a monkey, if you will, baby. Yeah, let's do this, baby. Yeah, baby. 491 episodes, baby. Yeah, pancakes and power slams, getting funky like a monkey, baby. Yeah. All right, man. Listen, we're gonna have a lot of fun today. As you know, for those who come on during the intro, you get some love from the intro. And I'm going to start with the questions as always. Yes, it is my first time, Ricky, interviewing Alberto Del Rio. I got a chance to talk to him before we went on air. He's a nice guy. What I think of Punk's debut, I knew that this was going to come right out the gate, ladies and gentlemen, right out the gate. What did I think of Punk's debut? The jury is still out as far as what they're going to do with him. I kind of figured that it was going to be Darby Allin because Darby Allin was throwing some feelers out there, throwing some subtleties out there as far as CM Punk being his opponent. So I think it's going to be an interesting match. I'm a little skeptical as far as Darby Allin taking the fall because it looks like he will be the one who's going to lose. So I'm not a big fan of that, actually. I don't think that's really a good idea to put at the expense of CM Punk, at the expense of Darby Allin, put CM Punk over. Speaking of at the expense of someone putting someone over, that's what happened with Bianca Belair losing to Becky Lynch, which was such a horrible, terrible, ridiculous idea. I was looking all around social media after I tweeted, and a lot of people thought like I was. I had a couple of good friends over, and it's just one of those things, man. Why in the world would they do something that silly? And Becky wasn't even, supposed to be there. It was supposed to be Sasha Banks. And from what I heard, it was a Vince call to make it a squash to make Becky look good. And I'm thinking in my head, why in the world is the point of what's the point of making Becky look good? She's already established. She's one of the most established talent in all of WWE. You need to be pushing other talent. That's the reason why the WWE spends so much time trying to make stars and have these crazy popcorn ideas when it comes to booking. Just a really bad idea. Just a terrible idea. You didn't need to put a damper on the push of Bianca Belair. Made history in WrestleMania. Crowd went nuts. She was still getting a good reaction in Vegas. Super over. And somehow WWE decides to say, you know what? We're just going to say, forget it. And just put a big old screeching halt to your momentum at the expense of Becky Lynch out of anybody who didn't need that. I kept saying this to my boys who were in my house watching it. I said, you know what? The whole thing, the point of that segment was the pop. The point wasn't for Becky Lynch to win the championship. Her winning the championship didn't add to the pop that she already had. It would have been just fine if Zelina Vega and Carmella would have came out when they said we couldn't face that you couldn't go against Sasha Banks. So unfortunately, the match would have to be postponed. Perfect opportunity for Carmella and Zelina Vega to both come out. Zelina Vega and Carmella saying, "Okay, well, you beat us in a two back-to-back on SmackDown. Now, can you beat us in a handicap match?" You're still not expecting Becky Lynch to come out, ladies and gentlemen. They say handicap match. Bianca Belair says, I'll beat you back to back. I can beat you in a handicap match. And as soon as the bell's about to ring, Becky Lynch's music comes on. That's where the pop comes, not at the expense of of Bianca Belair. And then it's a tag match. It would have been just fine if it was a tag match and Becky Lynch gets the pin on either one of them, Zelina Vega or Carmella. Becky Lynch is the one who gets the pin, so that gives her momentum and say, I should be the number one contender. And then at the end of SummerSlam, at the end of that match, Becky Lynch, Bianca Belair, they do a face-off, and there's your cliffhanger for SmackDown. Come on. I mean, just easy booking. You didn't need Sasha Banks. You didn't need Bianca Belair to be basically squelched at the expense of Becky Lynch. It was unnecessary to do that. Unnecessary. You could have just did a tag match that would have got the same pop, and then I would have helped both of them as baby faces, and Becky Lynch would have given Bianca Belair the rub because they won a match together. And so, very bad idea to do that. As far as the rest of SummerSlam, I gave SummerSlam probably about a 6 out of 10. There was decent moments. Lesnar coming back was okay. I mean, it was surprising, and I like surprises. I like surprise returns. When I saw that, though, I said I don't want Brock Lesnar to be a babyface. I do not like. WWE is so devoid of baby faces right now. It's ridiculous. And so Brock Lesnar taking someone's babyface spot for the sake of feuding with Roman Reigns, and please don't pull an Undertaker deal and have Brock Lesnar beat Roman Reigns. After a year of being undefeated, do not have Brock Lesnar beat Roman Reigns. That would just be one of the worst ideas that WWE could possibly have, is actually having Brock Lesnar beat Roman Reigns and break his undefeated streak. That would just be horrible. Roman Reigns needs to go over Brock Lesnar. Totally needs to go over Brock Lesnar. However, I'm not happy with Brock Lesnar being a babyface. And I think Roman eventually is okay to be a babyface, but he's still right now, people still love to hate him. So he's still playing a heel role really good. Transitioning into a babyface right now isn't good. I would wait until we're starting to get some cheers and people started to like him more to turn him over. But right now, keep him heel. Keep him heel. Keep Roman Reigns heel. And you don't want to dilute it with Brock being heel, but at the same time, Brock needs to be face right now. I mean, he needs to be heel right now. He doesn't need to be a baby face. I've never really been a big fan of face Brock. There's some decent moments with face Brock, but overall, Brock is a monster heel that needs to put over a baby face right now. So ideally, if it was up to me, I would like for Brock Lesnar to put over someone like a Cesaro. So yeah, I mean, if you want an attraction match, Edge versus Brock would be okay. I think Edge versus Brock and Saudi would be pretty cool, honestly. But I mean, and the thing is, this is something else I said. This is another idea that I have for SummerSlam. What you could have done with SummerSlam is you could have, if you wanted that spot at the end, you could have had Lesnar come. You could have had Lesnar F5 Roman Reigns, and that would have been a really good opportunity to, if you want to feel good moment, because it was kind of anticlimactical. They just did a face-off and Roman Reigns left. Of course, he did his spots to Cena at the end, which was still weird. He came back as a baby face. Cena's a face, but Brock Lesnar suplexes Cena, so that clearly makes him a heel. Just confusing all the way around. And it just didn't make sense to me. It was just kind of anticlimactical for SummerSlam. And there was just some moment. I mean, Edge and Seth was good, but overall, it was just man. It was okay. It was okay. I'd say about a 6 or 7. It was okay. So yeah, I think that Brock should have just suplexed. He should have F5 Roman and Big E cash in and win the title from Roman. I think that would have been pretty cool, actually. And I think that would have been, I think if Big E would have won, he'd be the first Black Universal Champion, right? The first Black Universal Champion. I think that would have been, I think that would be Big E if he won. Because here's the thing, and this is what I said on Sunday. Roman and Brock doesn't need a belt attached to it. Paul Heyman's the nucleus of that feud. So they don't need a belt. Balor, Owens, Goldberg, Lesnar, Reigns, Rollins, Wyatt, Goldberg, Braun, and Reigns. Yeah. He would be the first Black Universal Champion. That would be pretty cool to see. As far as TakeOver, solid card. The 3 stages match was good. Kudos to Adam Cole for putting over Kyle O'Reilly. That was pretty cool. Adam Cole hasn't signed a contract as of this show, so he might be AEW bound to hang out with his boo, Britt Baker. I can definitely see that happening. Although AEW is just overloaded and oversaturated with people now, but I can see Adam Cole working with his girlfriend, Britt Baker. Speaking of that, Big Swole, where the heck has she been? And Cedric Alexander is in WWE. Where the heck has he been? So I think ideally Cedric Alexander should come over to AEW. He might not be utilized much, but at least he'd be hanging out with his wife. So Big Swole hasn't competed since last July, over a month ago. Lost in less than 6 minutes to Diamante on Dark. Lost to the Bunny in about 3.5 minutes on Dark. So unfortunately, Big Swole, she had some time, but yeah, I mean the AEW is just kind of giving up on her. It looks like. So, although I think that's a bad idea. I think Big Swole could have been heavily pushed. I think she has the look, she has the music. Not too. She definitely could work on the mic. She definitely could have. She definitely could do some work on the mic. But overall, I mean, I would have pushed Big Swole to the moon. Speaking of to the moon, back to TakeOver. Yeah, I mean, I liked Cameron Grimes winning. Cameron Grimes is super over now. I like what they're doing with him. Cole putting O'Reilly over. Good call. Dragunov and Walter, amazing match. Yeah, I mean, it was a solid card, solid pay-per-view. I think it was better than SummerSlam, honestly. Just from bell to bell, it was better than SummerSlam. The big fight feel and the returns it makes SummerSlam above it as far as interest, as far as buzz is concerned. But as far as bell to bell, TakeOver is a better card. And Joe winning was cool again. Joe looked rusty in the ring, but you know, if anybody was the first time to be 3-time champ, that would be Samoa Joe. I think he earned it just from his line of work over the past 20 years plus, and he deserves it. Lonzo, what's up, my man? Lots of questions, yo. I love it. Good stuff. Ask me questions about me. Like, ask me some quasi personal questions. I like personal questions. I'm a big fan of that. Let's see. City Council for Elvis. I think Cole. Yeah, like I said, I think Cole's going to AEW. What's up, Mike Ryan? Dion's not a fan of Lesnar back. And the thing is, like I said, I mean, I'm not a fan of babyface Lesnar. I like his new look though. I saw his new look on previous, I think IG, I think it was, or Twitter, or one of them. I saw it already, but I like him, and he kept it, and why not? I like it. Looks cool to me. So, I mean, we shall see. I just don't want him in a title hunt again. I don't want him winning the Universal Championship. I don't want that. Roman Reigns needs to beat Brock Lesnar, and he needs to gain as much steam as he possibly can to eventually lose the title to Big E. That would make Big E look like a star if he beats Roman Reigns. Like, Roman Reigns is impenetrable. Like he's above and beyond everybody else, and if Big E's the one who dethroned him, that would make him look good, man. Do it now. I'd do it for you. James is asking, recently saw on IG that David Benoit posted a pic of him training in a wrestling ring. Have you seen or heard? I've not seen David Benoit. I mean, David Benoit's been training for a while, though. I mean, he's been training for a while. So yeah, I mean, I wouldn't surprise me because he's been training. Actually, I'm looking at his Twitter right now. Retweeted something about Punk. He's tweeting a lot of AEW stuff. Very interesting. I was on IG. Let me see. Let me look at. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, it's got an AEW shirt on with I believe that's oh gosh. What's that guy? What is okay, let's see. Impact the cruiserweight champion. I mean the X Division champion. For the North, right? With bug me. With Ethan Page, Josh Alexander, right? Let me see. I believe it's Josh Alexander. Yes, Josh Alexander. Yep. Yeah, he's got AEW as Jericho, I think, shirt on. So there you go, man. I've said this before and I'll say it again. I am okay with David Benoit wrestling. I mean, why in the world would anyone blacklist David Benoit for something his dad did? Like, I think that's terrible. I think that's a terrible, like, that's unfair for him. Like, why? His father committed one of the worst atrocities in pro wrestling history. What did David have to do with that? And why in the world would he be blacklisted because of something his dad did? Like, that just sounds silly to me. I mean, give the man a chance. Give him a chance. Give the man a chance. Don't blacklist him. Give him a chance. Let's see. Thanks, man. Thanks, Danny. Shout out to Danny, who was on the show last week. I love the interview I just had with Alberto Del Rio. Love when you can ask a question and he just ran with it and told great stories. Yeah, man. He was definitely cool stuff. I agree, Aaron. Why would you build Bianca and Lose in 26 seconds, I think it was. Terrible. Terrible. 57% increase in Rampage ratings. I mean, we shall see. We shall see, Mike. I mean, like, we saw that with one. I mean, granted, Rampage is a Friday night show for an hour. I mean, and there's only been two shows, so it's just like, okay, you knew that this show was going to be in Chicago. CM Punk was going to come. Like, we knew that. So, of course, that would be a major boost in ratings, seeing how there's only been two shows. So, terrible. I agree. I agree, Mike. Becky doesn't need a belt. 100% agree with that. 100%. 100% agree with that. Doesn't need a belt whatsoever. Terrible idea. Terrible idea. Terrible. I just got a message. James is asking, you think the Saudi show, the Saudi, I think you meant, in October will feature a lot of part-time talents and legends such as Kane take your appearances. They always bring in big names for the Saudi shows. Yeah, they will. I mean, that's Saudi is it's a glorified house show to bring in a bunch of attractions to please the Saudi crowd. Yeah, so I can see Goldberg Lashley again. So, since there's some loose ends there with the whole Gage gimmick, with the still doing the thing with Gage. So, I mean, I said this before in conversation. I can see Goldberg beating Lashley in Saudi for the WWE Championship. I can see that happening. I mean, even if they put it back on Lashley, I can see Goldberg beating Lashley in Saudi. So, I can also see. I can also see Edge being in some type of big thing, who else do you bring back? I mean, Kane, you said Kane. Wouldn't surprise me if they did something with Taker, but I think Taker's pretty much done. Kane, I mean, Kane's the man. It looks like he's having fun. He gained a bunch of weight, but I heard he's made it a mission in 2021 to get back in shape again. So I wouldn't know what shape Kane's in when he comes back, but he knows how to get back in shape. I'm sure that he'd get back in shape for an appearance. So it wouldn't surprise me if Kane came back in shape and came back for Saudi. That wouldn't surprise me. But who else do you? AEW's a thing now. AEW really wasn't a thing when they went during the last Saudi visits. AEW wasn't a thing. That wasn't really a thing. So yeah, I mean, it's who do you bring back that AEW doesn't have? Taker's not going to wrestle. Kane probably would wrestle, but I mean, Kane's a legend for sure, but I mean, who does he go against? I mean, who else do you bring back? You really don't have much of a well to choose from when it comes to legends anymore. Rick is what's up, Rick from Boise? We always give our first timers some love. Everybody give Rick from Boise some love. We give our first timers a big hand and a big thank you for joining us. So this goes to you, Rick. Thank you, Rick, for joining us. Brendan, I was thinking the same thing. I mean, after Charlotte's promo, would make sense. It would have made perfect sense for Becky to interrupt that promo. Just doesn't make sense to me whatsoever. I was thinking the same thing, man. Like, have Becky come out. It was so lackluster to see Alexa Bliss come out after the promo. Like, that was just an alley-oop to set up for a good return, for a surprise return. And then you give us Alexa Bliss. Like, it just seems so anticlimactic when you gave us Alexa Bliss, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. All right. Very anticlimactic. Becky Lynch should have been the person who came back then. Terrible, ladies and gentlemen. Just terrible. I shared. I like it. I'm a fan. I'm a fan down by the river. And the van down by the river. Charlotte versus Becky at Survivor Series, I suppose. I mean, that means that Becky and Charlotte would have to keep the belt for another 3 months. Charlotte and Becky as champs for 3 months. Oh, yikes. Yikes. Major yikes. Mike saying $3 million for Brock to go to Saudi. Doesn't surprise me at all. Lesnar versus Reigns in Saudi. Yep. Not surprised. And I think that's what you do. I think you just do Lesnar versus Reigns in Saudi. But who gets over? Who's over? Who's the baby face there? So, but it's a Saudi attraction. Keep it there. If it is. But that's not until October though. But it's only 2 months away, less than 2 months away. So, I mean, that makes sense that, you want to stack the Saudi card, but I really hope that they don't do anything past that. As far as for the title, no. Don't do it. Don't do it. Let's see. Agreed, Alonzo. The only thing is, though, I don't want babyface Brock. I don't want it. O'Reilly's getting booed on NXT, Ricky. I haven't watched NXT yet. And that's sad, too, because they were clearly – that just doesn't make sense. Adam Cole, like, for instance, you booed Lesnar and Goldberg at WrestleMania 20 when you found out that both of them are leaving. Like, Adam Cole's leaving the business, like he's leaving WWE. Like, how much do you worship the guy that it's leaving the company that you're a fan of, and you're booing the person that sent him off? You knew that he was going to leave. A lot of people in an NXT crowd, they're familiar with the dirt sheets. If you're an NXT fan, you're most likely you most likely know the dirt sheets, okay? You knew that Adam Cole is leaving or potentially leaving, but Kyle O'Reilly's the heel, but Cole turned on O'Reilly. O'Reilly's just standing up for himself. Wrestling fans, smart mark wrestling fans, ruin the business, ladies and gentlemen. I said what I said. Smart marks ruin the business. Ricky says the AEW roster is way too full. Yeah, it would be hard for you to be booked in the AEW roster if you go in the AEW right now. You would probably, just like everybody else, find your home on Dark or Dark Elevation. Yeah, well, Alonzo, where in the world is Squeaky Cedric been? He's been just hanging out. Just hanging out and catering, ladies and gentlemen. hanging out and catering. My favorite movies, Chris Farley. Chris Farley movies. Big fan. New Nexus? No way. Good question, Chris. My back is unfortunately not very well. It's not very well. Surgery was 4 months, almost 4.5 months ago. And yeah, man, it was okay for the very beginning, and then started to jack up again, real bad, unfortunately. So we shall see what that's all about. And the crazy thing is, like, I don't even know. Like, I do everything in my power to make sure that my back is intact. I do core exercises daily. I work out 5 days a week at least. I maintain, monitor everything I eat. I've lost 60 pounds, and maintaining it, keeping it off, in the best shape of my life right now. And I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I mean, like, this is what bothers me about my back situation. I'm gonna show you an Instagram picture of what I took today at the gym. All right. This is my current life here, working out at the gym all the time. Okay. All of the times. All right. That's me. DC. I was going to say DD something, like, but Dr. Chris, DCF. Oh, there you go. I mean, come on, man. Hire me to be on WWE, ladies and gentlemen. But, it's, unfortunate part is that, it's unfortunate, man. It really is. I mean, that's my life. I spend time working out all the time to make sure that my back is in tip-top shape, ladies and gentlemen, to make sure that I'm doing everything in my power to get in, to take care of my back. And unfortunately, still not working out, man. I mean, I'm in really good shape now, and that's from someone who grew up as a fat kid and was a fat kid in my 20s and was over 300 pounds just a couple of years ago. So I'm doing everything I possibly can, Chris, to, take care of my back. But unfortunately, it's not doing too well. William is asking how, if you would like to interview any wrestler that you haven't interviewed. Good question, William. And I would say Sting, as far as a sit-down interview. I was a part of a media Q&A with Sting, so I did get to ask him a question. So that's as far as I got with interviewing Sting, but one-on-one interviewing. One-on-one interview, sit-down type of interview with Sting. All-time favorite wrestler. Jesus, what's up, my man? Do I think they're going to split Ray and Dom? No, I think perhaps they may lead that to Mania, maybe a Dominic heel turn, perhaps. Perhaps. Danhausen from ROH. Well, interview him, sure. I mean, why not? I don't really have any thoughts on him. I'm friends with PCO, and he teams with PCO, so fine by me. Is my wife a Titans fan? She's a kind of like she's a Steelers fan by association of like family members of like who lived around the Pittsburgh area, so close to Pittsburgh. So, but she really doesn't have a team, and she's she likes who I likes. She likes who I like, but there's a Steelers throw, and I can't stand the Steelers actually. But there's a Steelers throw in the house. I'll give her that, but she's a huge, she's a big Ohio State fan by proxy of me being a fanatic. I'm an Ohio State fan fanatic, ladies and gentlemen. As a matter of fact, right here is a Ohio State flag, and this right next to me. Yeah, totally agree that the sins of the father shouldn't be blamed on the son. He could hopefully change Benoit's name, at least heal it if we give him a chance. Agreed, James. I agree. That just doesn't make any sense to me that he's a product of his father's transgressions. That's silly to me. Alonso's asking, where's Tony Storm? Yeah, weird. Where's Tony Storm? Someone who just got vignettes for a debut and popped on SmackDown, and that's it. I mean, like, anytime someone just randomly goes like that, the first thing I go to is COVID. You know what I mean? Like, is it COVID? I don't know. I think Sasha, I think that might have been a COVID thing. I think because she missed a couple house shows with Belair, has been not appearing for the past couple of weeks. It seems like that's a COVID thing. And even if it was a COVID thing, you still have a perfect opportunity. It just doesn't make any sense to me. You still have a Bianca versus Sasha match ready to rock. That would have been perfect for Night of Champions. Get Becky out of the title picture. It would have been perfect for Becky and Sasha to go on Night of Champions. If she did have COVID, she of course come back way before Night of Champions, or Night of Champions, but Extreme Rules. And you could even gimmick a match because you've had the match before between the two. So could have put in a steel cage or something like that. And then you have Becky Lynch go away from the title picture, and she could have won against Carmella. Like, you could have, if she could have pinned Carmella, Becky Lynch could have pinned Carmella at SummerSlam. Again, Becky and Bianca versus Carmella and Zelina Vega. Becky pins Carmella. That sets up a Becky and Carmella match that takes Becky away from the title picture, gives her a feud. Becky versus Carmella in Extreme Rules, and then you still have Sasha coming back. You still have that Sasha versus Bianca Belair match waiting. That's all you had to do. And if you wanted to meet back up with Becky and Bianca, you could have done that after next month. Doesn't make sense to me. Asuka, Naomi, Dana Brooke, Liv Morgan, deep before the Women's Raw and SmackDown rosters. We keep seeing the same women every week. We do. Someone sent me on Instagram a picture of the Bounties getting back together. They took a picture, and I think they had like the 2-piece on or something. Like both of them did. I guess they were at a beach or something. I'm not sure, but yeah. I got sent a picture on IG, and it said they must have been watching Raw, Legion of Raw. They must have been watching. They must have been watching our show. Vince Russo and I, we had a tribute to the Bouncies show last Monday, a week from yesterday, or Monday's technically Wednesday here on the East Coast now. So yeah, we had a show, and it was fun. So, and then they post that afterwards. You watched the tribute to the Bouncies, Dana and Mandy. You watched it, But I don't know. I mean, like Asuka's been gone for a while, so I mean, there's no COVID excuse for her, no COVID excuse for Naomi or Liv Morgan because all of them have been gone for 2 weeks. I mean, typically with people with COVID, you get cleared after the quarantine. You typically feel better unless you have like pre-existing conditions or a very sedentary lifestyle that your immune system's not working very well. But like after I had COVID, so I mean, granted, I've known I knew people whose lifestyle is more sedentary, and they had symptoms, and they were affected for weeks. Thankfully, mine was about a week, and so I went back to work. I worked from home for a little while until my quarantine was up, and it sucked. I mean, I felt exhausted. When I tell you I had COVID. Like it sucked. It was just draining my life away. But I got back at it. I mean, we've seen it. Drew had COVID and came back 2 weeks later. I believe Charlotte had COVID. Yeah, she did have COVID. She came back a couple weeks later. If I'm not mistaken, Kayla Braxton, I think she had, or Renee Paquette, she had COVID. I think it was Kayla Braxton that had COVID twice. It's like she came back after a few weeks. So one of them had COVID twice, either Renee or Kayla. One of them had COVID twice. But I mean, like, you come back after 2 weeks if you're athletic. And so all of them have been gone for way longer. Taker and Kane versus AJ and Almost. No, I don't want another Taker match. Taker and Kane versus DX was a disaster. Better yet, Almost being there. Kane and Lily. That would be funny. Biggie Cash on Goldberg. No need. Oscar would come out during Charlotte's promo. That would be cool, but they need to build Oscar better. I mean, they've Oscar. They dropped the ball with her, man. She had so much mystique in NXT. She was just, even Goldberg tweeted about her when she was breaking the streak. It was amazing. Gabriel, what's up, man? Great to see you again. Good stuff. Bailey's mixed match with Rollins before injury showed they had great chemistry together. She'll be back. Oh, got Buddha takeover. Yeah, he did get Buddha takeover, unfortunately. Hold on. Yeah, it says we. Wait a minute. Let me go back to. Got booed and beat up by a couple guys. Okay, gotcha. Well, we shall see. I'll check that out. What should his new character be? Some type of John Wayne type of deal. Well, Kyle has no personality, but that's his gimmick though. Like and they did have his little. He was kind of like a cool kid type of deal. That lasted for like a hiccup in NXT. He should have kept that. He was actually getting cheered when he was like that. He's some type of vanilla mean guy now. So I don't understand that. Punk versus Cole. Yeah. Have I got the COVID vaccine? Nope. Lesnar Lashley. I don't want to see that. Gabriel's asking. I do want to see Lesnar Lashley, but when Lashley becomes a babyface, not as two heels, or not with Lesnar as the babyface. Corbin's new gimmick's hilarious, absolutely hilarious. New rumored storyline twist to his gimmick could be he hits pay dirt and becomes some rich gimmick. I'm not sure, but I think it's hilarious, actually. Chad is saying, has it was wondering if you have heard this. SummerSlam was set up for results planned, and Vince went crazy and scrapped last minute. Not a happy team backstage. Yeah, Vince always does that. He always makes that veto stuff. Okay, good question. First wrestler you've seen in a live event, first time when as a kid. Terry Taylor was my first wrestler for me. I think it was like the Coliseums, probably 1990, 91, somewhere around there. I think I remember like Bret Hart and Piper, like doing a house show match, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, this had to be about 90, 91. Somewhere around there. 90, 91, 92, something like that. That's the first time I went. Yes. Put it in the fire. Oh, so she won't take the jab? That's the reason why? Ricky, where'd you drop a source on that? I'll check on it. Very interesting. Sasha's, she won't take the jab. Is that the reason why? Very interesting. She went to lunch's story. I heard when she's supposed to be quarantined. Oh, so she went to lunch when she's supposed to be quarantined. Okay. Drop sources for this. Would I like to see Punk and Cole? I mean, okay, sure. I mean, I just listen, guys. Like, I'm an old school wrestling fan, man. So, like, I don't get excited to see matches like, ooh, CM Punk versus Adam Cole. Like, that's like, I just don't. I don't care what match you are. If you like, unless two people are built up like colossal, which doesn't happen in wrestling anymore. Everybody feels the same, except for maybe except Roman Reigns is far and above anybody else in all of professional wrestling as far as presence, aura, strong presence is concerned. That's it. I mean, nobody else. Everybody feels the same. So unless it's just Punk and Cole, okay, like they have a match. Now what? I mean, there's like people don't really memorize matches much. They memorize stories, angles, what led you there, how were you feeling? You know what I mean? Like it's rare for matches without stories or without good enough stories to back it up. It's rare for people to just remember matches because I mean they're a dime a dozen now as far as flippy Canadian Destroyer moonsault from the rafters matches. They're a dime a dozen. So like, give me a story. If there's a story behind Punk and Cole, okay, I'm in. But just for match's sake, just the match for match sake, I don't care about that. I just really don't. That doesn't thrill me. Like, oh my gosh, it's a dream match. Like all these dream matches, you know, it's no dream match. What? The dream match is the bar is so low nowadays. Manny Rose back in NC with Coach GZ Dolan, JC James. We might get a trio of the Bouncies now. There you go. Bouncies trio. Where's Keith Lee? He came out with a video a week or two ago about why he was gone for so long and so forth. Oh man. Left for Reigns after he smashes Lesnar. I think they'll keep giving them filler feuds. I wouldn't be surprised if Owens comes back in the fold. I wouldn't be surprised if Edge comes back on the fold. Where the heck is Cesaro been? That's ridiculous, but we shall see. I'm not interested, Ricky, honestly. Where are these sources? Drop these sources, y'all. WWE trademark Happy Corbin. Let me see. Happy Corbin WWE. Oh, there you go. Yeah. Happy Corbin. Interesting. Okie dokie. What's Benjamin? Well, I do an episode about CM Punk's return. I mean, I was talking about Punk's return on this episode. Great to see you, my man. Great that you're joining us. This right here, 100%. One storylines the last 7 months to a year, baby chasing the hill, not much touching. That is old school at its finest. That's what brought us to the dance. That's what brought us to the dance of loving professional wrestling. Not a lot of touching, not a bunch of matches, not a bunch of 50-50 crap. At a pay-per-view that culminates, I'm paying to see y'all finally get physical, finally have an encounter. Man, I can't watch this on free TV. I got to watch these stories. I got to watch the build, setting up for the pay-per-view. Why am I watching the pay-per-view? Like most of the pay-per-view matches, they've already wrestled like 8 times. You know what I mean? So it's like, what is this one going to be different? 100% Rick. 100% Mike. Good comment, man, for sure. Do I honestly think Vince screwed Bianca for Becky to be back and win the title? Yeah, absolutely. It's Vince McMahon. I mean, Vince McMahon's 75 years old. 70. How old is he now? 74. You know, so I mean, like, which 76 actually just turned 76 yesterday. So 76-year-old Vince McMahon, 76 years old, ladies and gentlemen, just turned 76 yesterday. And so, what's the end game here? I mean, like, Vince McMahon is notorious for just starting and stopping pushes. You're sabotaging your own company by doing that, by doing these start-stop pushes. And you don't need, again, I say, you didn't need to squelch Bianca Belair to get a Becky Lynch pop. Terrible. Absolutely terrible. Yeah, I think didn't Booker say he should have mentioned something about WWE or something like that. She's not clear to come to the main rosters. Last time I heard. Yeah, I mean that's what I said, Alonzo. That's what I mean. It would make sense to cash in on Lashley. He looks older than 76 now. I mean, he's in good shape, but Vince he looks like he looks like he's aged badly, unfortunately. But I mean, here's my thing. I mean, it at the end of the day, it's clear that it was a knee-jerk reaction to CM Punk coming out, was the Becky thing and the Brock thing, but for some odd reason, Vince McMahon doesn't think that AEW is competition, doesn't watch, and Nick Khan is kind of piggybacking with Vince as far as like, yeah, we don't do that, we're not doing this. Sure, you're not doing it. All right, y'all, I'm gonna head out, man. This was cool, nice and flowy, nice show tonight, y'all. Good stuff. We got to talk about Becky Lynch and Bianca Belair. Unfortunately, that crazy debacle. We got to talk about SummerSlam. We got to talk about TakeOver. We got to talk about CM Punk's return. So it should be fun, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sure there's going to be an action-packed lineup full of stuff to talk about next week, too. CM Punk is supposed to be at Dynamite. this coming week. Today, actually, as of right now on this show, it would be today, Eastern time. So we shall see with that. We're kind of on the back end of all the craziness that came with pro wrestling over the week, and so it was interesting to expand. Smarting from last week's whooping, hilarious. Chad saying thanks, good stuff. Mice mixed the topics. Yeah, here's the thing, Mike, man. At the end of the day, thank you to all the patrons. The patrons is the reason why I'm up at this late at nights after being a full doctor still and having a show before this, interviewing, top wrestling talent. The reason why I keep PNP still here because, I'm a huge fan of loyalty, and I'm loyal to my peeps, my PNP Nation. So my format has changed over the past year. It's been over 9 years now the show's been going on. So the topics, the format's completely changed for PNP. Mostly I just answer questions from the PNP Nation. It's just us and the PNP fam. Me and the PNP fam hanging out. Evan hangs out with us too. He had some business stuff to take care of today. But yeah, man, just me hanging out with the PNP fam. As far as the topics are concerned, y'all pick the topics. Hashtag Ask Dr. Chris. And so every week, y'all tell me what to talk about, and I'll talk about it. That's what we've been doing for a long time. That's a much smoother format to me because prepping, and it makes prepping for the show a lot easier, to be honest with you, because on top of being a doctor and prepping for Unscripted, which is the show before PNP on Sports Kita, prepping for PNP, because as you know, Mike, I used to have interviews here every week. That actually interview segments now Unscripted on now named Unscripted. They bought that interview segment, and it's on Sports Kid every week. This week I interviewed Alberto Del Rio, and yeah, so it was it's much better for those people who are patrons. PNP Nation, I love hanging out with y'all, but it's the patrons that really gives me motivated to continue PNP. Plus, 9 weeks away from the 500th show of Pancakes and Powerslams, ladies and gentlemen. Wow, it's going to be amazing. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm out of here. Great discussion, y'all. Great discussion. PNP Nation shows up again in full force. Awesome questions. Had a lot of fun tonight. Until next week, enjoy your week of wrestling. God bless. And always remember, I do it for you. Have a good night. God bless.